Alright, here we're going to start out with a S404 size 4 streamer hook. Oops. I'm using some 70 denier thread. Just make a nice thread base. And wrap all the way right before the bend of the hook. Now we're going to take some gray marabou, just like a woolly bugger. Measure it to the length of the hook, and just tie that in. We're gonna tie the rest of this marabou in all the way to the front of the hook, right before the eye, but you're gonna leave a little bit of room. See how I left quite a bit of room in the front. Just gonna clip that off. Now we're going to take some Grizzly Hackle. Oh, let's see. Trying to find a webbier feather. There we go. Peel those fibers back. And just tie that in. Next we're going to take some ice dub and a UV pearl. Oops. Clip this out. I like to make a dubbing loop. And then advance the thread forward. So pack it pretty loosely with dubbing. Bring that up to the top. Kind of pull it taut and then get some spin. Oops. Before I get too far, I'll whip finish right up here so the thread doesn't get all out of control. Now we're going to stop again right before the eye of the hook. Give it plenty of room. then snip it off. Get this out. There we go. Just build up a little bit of a head and advance the thread back so you reveal some more space between the eye, the hook, and where you're going to be attaching the legs, as well as some more marabou. Let's put this back. Now, just like a woolly bugger, we're going to start advancing our hackle. Just tie this off, give it a few good wraps, and pull those fibers back to lock it all in place. And snip the excess off. Now we're almost done with this part. Alright. Next we're going to take some barred silly legs in clear / pearl. So one for each side. Just going to trap those on each side. Oops. Keep dropping my dubbing. Notice how I fold it over. Fold it over the actual thread itself, if you can see that, and then I start wrapping. Gotta get these legs out of the way. Once they're pretty secure, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to attach another plume of marabou. Now I stripped some more off, as you can see back here, to give me some more room, so it doesn't crowd it when I tie it in. That's another reason why I like to use 70 denier as opposed to 140. Doesn't crowd the eye of the hook. Now we're just going to whip finish. Now you can stop here, or I should say you can stop by whip finishing and then move on to the next part of the fly, or I like to add a bit of tack-free clear cure goo. I can get all the excess of that out. Just to give it some more strength. Just be careful not to hit the eye of the hook. Just carefully brush it on. and hit it with your light. Alright, now we're going to move on to the next part of the fly. Alright, so we have our first part of the fly. Now I'm going to take some of this performance braid. Now you can use the beat-alon stainless wire. It's a 19 strand. You get it at Michael's. I prefer to use this 30-pound braided wire, or not wire, just performance braid that you use in spin casting, and I'll show you why in a second. So you have your fly. As you can see, I'm going to actually put it in the vise so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. So, oops, we're going to take a bit of this, the braid, take the two ends, and we're going to, if we can, feed it, there we go, feed it through the eye of the hook, and we're going to take those two strands and put it through the opening. So through this opening, and then we're going to pull it tight. So see how there's like a loop? When you pull that tight, it gives it a much more secure placement. So now you can add your beads and to this part of the hook and then attach it. So that's what we're going to do. Now these red beads, these are silver lined beads. See how massive this pack is. It was like $2 at Michael's. You can go to Hobby Lobby and I imagine find the same thing. So you take two beads and then you're just going to feed it. So there's one and two. Now we're going to disconnect this from the vise. Now, this is an S403 in a size 2. I'm going to debarb the hook. Usually do this before. Not good enough. There we go. Just going to slide this right in. There we go. Alright. So with the hook and the vise, and then you already have your other back hook prepared. This is a bit tricky. So we're going to take this braid and we're going to feed it through this bead. And then we're going to put it through the eye of the hook and then back through the bead. I know it sounds kind of confusing, but this is my reasoning. I have never lost a fish this way. Now, granted, I know people have done it the other way. So you feed it through there. Now I know, again, I know people have just attached it to the hook shank itself. But again, I've never ever lost a fish, and I've caught some very big fish, so with this exact fly. So again, you feed it through the cone, so you feed it through the cone. Give me a second. I'm going to repeat myself 1,000 times. Get this placed correctly. There we go. So you put it through the cone, then through the eye, and then back through the cone. And then you wrap it around the thread, or wrap it with thread. It's honestly, it's not going to go anywhere. It's a bit more tedious, but in the long run, again, it's absolutely fantastic. And this braid makes it flow a lot better in the water. So now on to the third part of the fly. Alright, so we attached the back hook with the wire, or the bead, excuse me. You can use wire. Just gonna use our thread, kind of trap the braid. Literally do the same exact thing you did to the back hook. But just remember to wrap this really well. Now you can pull these beads back just a tad bit more. I like it to be right here because it gives that nice movement, but again, it's personal preference. Maybe I should have put it back a little bit more. Oh well. It'll fish just the same. So again, take a piece of marabou, measure it, tie it in. Now we're gonna leave, again, just a bit of room right in the front, because we are going to attach some legs as well as some more of this marabou in the front and some of that ice dub. So come back, take another one of your grizzly feathers. Okay. Make another dubbing loop and advance that thread forward. There's my dubbing loop helper. It's a technical name, the dubbing loop helper. And I'll whip finish up here. So pack it again. Give it a couple spins. Okay. Now we're just going to clip this off. and then advance our, if I can get the other material out of the way, advance the hackle forward. Just be careful. If this comes loose, just secure it back in there. Just keep advancing this forward. Gotta get these stupid beads out of the way. Wife decided to poke her head in case you were all wondering. Okay, so we are almost done. Just going to take 2 more of these legs. And attach them on either side of the bead, or excuse me, the cone head. Now, I will say this. If you were tying a smaller version, say a size 8 trailer hook with a size 6 main hook, you're going to want to use a size 5mm bead. Now with a size 4 front hook and a size 6 back hook, you still want to use the 6mm bead. Oops. Just get those secure. Now, you can leave the legs as is. I think they look fantastic. With the movement in the water, it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. But you can trim them to the length of the hook. I like to leave them, but that's a personal opinion. Now, finally, take another plume of gray marabou. Just measure it. And my phone was not on silent. Okay. Kind of wrap those. There we go. Now the final touch, some more ice stub. Going to take a bit of this. Whoops. Don't want to break those. And we're just going to twist it on. And put that as the head. Now we're going to whip finish. Excuse me. Once, twice, third time, just for kicks. Ooh. Bead was a little bit, or the cone was a bit too sharp and cut my thread. But that, folks, is a sweet fly. That is the Peanut Envy. Clean it up a little bit. That is the Peanut Envy in gray.